featuring.
Okay. Welcome. All right. Welcome to the Dying Breed podcast. Sorry, I had to kind of shut that down. Before we get going, I want to talk to Brandon Flowers. I know you're out there. Brandon, we need to use your music for the intro, Dying Breed, the song, please. So this is a plea so we don't have to hear the 70s game show music again. So Brandon, if you're out there and you listen to veterinary podcasts, we would love to use your music and not have to pay for it.
Everyone
Okay.
tag, follow, and share.
Yeah. The Killers. That's the song we're trying to get. Anyway, this is the Dying Breed podcast brought to you by Glenwood and Silt Veterinary Clinics, located in the western slope of Colorado. I will give a thank you to the Equinection. Did I say it right? Equinection.
Nailed it.
Just don't ask me to spell it. But this is something by one of our veterinarians, Dr. Hannah. It's for people who want to become horse vets.
Yeah. Anybody who wants to get involved with the equine industry in general, but vets are part of it, but just people who are looking to break into the space or be a part of it or be involved.
Make a connection with the Equinection.
Nailed it.
All right. And then also, I'll just mention the Equitarian Initiative again, because obviously Dr. Jay was on the podcast last time, and we just always want to, give free ads to Equitarian Initiative because they're great, and Dr. J is awesome. So, obviously, we have different people here today. We have Dr. Anna Routh. Can you wave so they know which one you are? Perfect. Good. And then Dr. Sydney Hayter. She's been on before. So maybe we'll just start with a little intro. Anna, you are a Taylor Swift fanatic.
Yes.
I believe they call them Swifties.
I was just going to say I self-identify as a Swiftie.
Can you give us a little history about yourself?
Yeah, from Chicago originally. Went to school in Wisconsin. I studied global health and biology. I was pre-med until I was applying for med school, and they were like, all of your shadow hours are at veterinary clinics, and you work at the zoo and a doggy daycare. And I was like, you know what, you're right. I'm wrong. So went to vet school. Did the MPH program, so Masters in Public Health as well at CSU. And now I'm here and I see small animal exotics. And I like Taylor Swift.
Great. And then I don't know if you've really given us much of an intro. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I grew up on the Gulf Coast of Florida, grew up exposed to a wide variety of species. I was one of the kids who knew I wanted to be a vet since I was a wee little one. Went to undergrad at University of Georgia, didn't get into vet school, so I had to kind of figure myself out. Took some time and got a master's degree, worked as a county agent in Jacksonville. Then finally got into vet school at Mississippi State, did an equine internship in Florida, thought I wanted to be an equine surgeon, found out pretty quickly I just wanted to be a really good vet. So then I came out here, been in Glenwood since 2020.
Great.
I get to work on everything. Here we are.
So I think, obviously I have a little bit of an intro there. I think to start, we both took different paths to end up at the same place. So in terms of like from vet school to now, can you talk a little bit more about the path? Because somehow you've both ended up here.
Yeah, I think in vet school, I actually wanted to be a USDA regulatory vet. So I took a lot of infectious disease classes and like worked at Plum Island and stuff. So I think I was very much so geared towards research, infectious disease, livestock disease. And then during third year, when we first started doing clinical stuff, since I didn't have much clinical background before vet school, I decided I really liked it, and I like talking to people, and I liked surgery a lot. So I kind of changed my mind, and after vet school, applied to government positions, small animal positions, and mixed animal positions, and then just ended up in small animal and haven't left.
But where did you start your career in terms of what practice did you start at?
Banfield.
You started at Banfield, and then you went from Banfield to you went to a local practice that then turned corporate.
Correct. Yeah. So I went from Banfield to a private practice that then became corporate practice about a year and a half later. And then came here.
And now so you've kind of done the whole
Yeah.
gamut. So
Corporate and then private and then corporate and then private.
yeah,
That hopefully stays private.
Yeah. Forever and always.
unless someone is interested, I have the same deal. I tell people I have the same deal with the corporate groups all the time, which is you give me a black bag of $10 million in cash.
Private plane.
I meet you in the dark in the park. You give me the bag of cash, and then I leave, and you never see or hear from me again. And no one has taken my deal.
I can't believe they haven't. It's an attractive offer.
It is. Can you tell us about Banfield versus the other one versus us? Like, what are some of the differences?
I think the biggest difference was they weren't allowed to make any rules that every single Banfield couldn't follow. So when we first got dental x-ray, they couldn't make it mandated as part of every procedure until every single Banfield in America got a dental x-ray and could put it into their. So there was like little things like that that everyone had to be kind of the same, which I think is nice in a way because people who go to a Banfield, any Banfield, know what to expect, and there is some sort of quality control there. But it was really frustrating when we had more advanced things and we couldn't use them or access them because we all had to be on the same page. So there was definitely more structure, more rules, less freedom in the plans that you were creating daily and what you're allowed to pull from and stuff like that. Definitely had a kind of a corporate line of like using every part of a wellness plan.
And then you went to one that was private and went corporate.
Mm-hmm.
And what was that like?
By the time, so I think when they first took over, they were like, we're not going to change anything. We're not going to change your name. We're not going to change anything else about it. It's going to maintain the work culture and all of that. And I think they were partially doing that, but there was already things changing. Like they were starting to mandate drop-offs and numbers for the day and not allowing, oh, my schedule's full. Maybe they should come in tomorrow. It was more so like, they're going to come anyway. We're going to try to pack as many people into here as possible. So they were starting to make some changes, but I think they were definitely making an effort to maintain corporate or their private culture. They were bought by a smaller corporate who then a few months later got bought by a larger corporate. So now they are double corporate, and I think
Small fish bought by a
double
bigger
corporate.
fish.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and the owners hand selected a small corporation because they felt like they'd have more control still. And then within like 6 months, that company was gone.
The illusion of choice.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think also that the fact that the owner of the original practice, do you think that because she was still there, that it didn't change the identity as much because she was still able to have some level of influence?
I think so. I think she kept a lot of the atmosphere and a lot of the actual care, and to some degree, the price is very similar. I think the people that had the hardest time with it were our practice manager, who now had to have like corporate meetings daily and talk about numbers and about pay time off and things like that. So things that they used to have complete autonomy over, they lost. So I think it affected the actual business side more than the medicine side before I left.
And you left, so why did you leave?
Because you guys were hiring.
Well, you cold emailed me.
I've never done that before. It was so scary.
And so what made you say yes to, obviously, a group that by all accounts doesn't really know what they're doing, but we're doing our best not knowing what we're doing. What made you pick us? And you're
I
still here.
literally got off the phone after that first conversation and I told my husband, I was like, I found my dream job. Who thought the unicorns existed? I really thought you guys were private and that it seemed like you again had more autonomy, not just over like everyday stuff, but like creating plans and not the pressure to be a salesman and more so be a medicine person. And I really wanted to see multiple species, which I was not able to do at my last job. And then I really liked the area and was excited to move to a small town, even though it's been weird. I see my patients walking down the street every day.
All the bearded dragons.
Yeah, that too.
On leashes.
Yeah.
Clients in the grocery store
Yeah.
weekly.
Like, I don't know you, but I know your dog really well.
Mhm. There's a lot of like, you're Gunner's dad. Like, I don't know your name, but I know your animal. Yeah.
Well, we're certainly thrilled you're here. You have obviously influenced me to improve my surgery time dramatically.
And
Peer
quality.
pressure.
That's not just about time.
No, this time quality is, you get the parts out, but get it closed fast.
There you
We
go.
haven't had any puppies, so there you go.
There you go. Yet.
Point.
Yeah, true.
Although I will say that every one of our staff now harasses me about how you're faster than I am at everything. So
Hearsay.
30, what did I say I did?
37.
37.
Mhm.
It was a big dog too. Fat.
I'm so impressed by you.
Thank you. I text Anna on her day off every time I'm doing surgery to let her know what my latest spay time was.
This time I responded with Lightning McQueen.
Yes. You did.
Nice. Love that.
Thank you. Thank you for not giving me the passive aggressive thumbs up.
It wasn't
The
meant to
dad
be.
thumb.
Yeah. Okay, in Sydney, you obviously went a different route. So you started in Florida in an internship. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. So actually, during my 4th year, I kind of came to the realization that I think I want to be a surgeon. And I was like, well, if I have any inkling of doing that, I'm going to have to do an internship. So I started searching for a place that I would want to go, that I would be able to get a spot with. And so I ended up at a equine specialty clinic near Tampa in Brandon, Florida, and started my internship. And it was within a few months that I realized working 24/7 for 4 weeks in a row and then having 2 days off wasn't exactly my idea of how I wanted to live my life and have my career. And talking to a few people who were, steps ahead of me in their careers, I was able to glean that, well, a residency is going to be this, but 3 times as long, 10 times as hard, 100 times the amount of networking and schmoozing and trying to get in with the right people for the same amount of pay. And then the work is still going to be about the same workload when you are a surgeon. And as much as I loved surgery and I loved being in there and I loved getting to take care of those animals, it wasn't going to be the life that was going to be for me or good for me. Truly, I realized that I was getting very burnt out and feeling very poorly. And it was coming back to me that I just wanted to go be a good vet. I just wanted to go practice on animals. And I missed getting to work on cows. I missed getting to see cats. That was like the big thing for me, was I missed the small animals without realizing that I was going to. And it started coming to my mind that I was going to need to find something else to do because I wasn't going to go for a residency. And because I wasn't willing to do it, and I wasn't willing to debase myself to try and get a spot somewhere. And so it was getting ready to go to the AAEP meeting. I had put my resume on the job listing, and you reached out, and a few other clinics reached out about setting up an interview. And we were talking about Glenwood, and I just remembered how much I loved being here, and I just really enjoyed the practice. And I saw this opportunity to finally get to Colorado and get to kind of get my hands dirty on everything. And it was one of the easiest decisions I've ever made. There was, I came out here to visit in January. It was the coldest day of the year. So cold, the x-ray wasn't working at the barn we were at. But to me, it didn't matter because I was like, this is where I want to be, because this is a small town, small neighborhood, but a place that you can practice how you want to, and you can still provide good quality care to both the animals and the people of the community. And there was an opportunity for a lot of freedom in how we were able to practice in a good way. Like, your medicine's an art, and there's a reason it's called an art, the art of medicine. It's because it's not cookie cutter, and it's not like, well, if they don't have an x-ray, we don't get to use ours. We have these tools, we should be able to use them. And even if those tools, like Dr. J said, even if your tools are your stethoscope, your thermometer in your hands, you get to put them to good use, and you're not restricted by things. So now I'm still here, and I get to kind of have a really solid mix of my caseload, but I get to start focusing on teeth and taking care of animals as a whole.
I want you to give me a pep talk every morning.
Okay.
I feel so inspired now.
Wow. Well, so obviously different paths, but
Yeah.
ended up the same place. The theme of today's episode was going to be about fourth year and NAVLE tips. So we do have some questions, and then we were going to just kind of give the advice that we would give to kind of fourth year students. So maybe we'll just hit each question, and then we can kind of each go through and give a little tidbit about what we think of that. I don't know who the questions are from. They're anonymous. The first question is veterinary medicine in equine flexible when it comes to switching jobs? Anna, do you want to start?
Yeah, seems great.
Well, I think,
Yeah.
but I think you can address veterinary medicine and switching jobs.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe you could just talk about switching jobs.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
was switching jobs for sure. As I talked about earlier, I really wanted to do infectious disease originally, and I've applied for and been accepted to a few government positions along the way. I've always chosen to stay in clinical medicine, but I think switching between even big things like research and small animal medicine is definitely an option. So I don't know about equine specifically, but between the things that I've gone through, like exotics and small animal and government and research and vaccine clinics, it's been very easy.
How did you find it, like the ease or even the challenges of switching jobs?
I think my first job set me up well for managing turbulence. So even at my first position, I was learning to be a vet, but I had to switch between different hospitals if we were short-staffed, and I wanted other veterinarians in the building. And so I was not only learning medicine, but also learning where the syringes are kept and things like that. So I think even early on, I had a lot of change. So that I think prepped me to going to new clinics. And I think it just takes a little bit of time to learn the staff and everyone's strengths and weaknesses and workflow. Like you get an angry cat, and now I know who to go to with the angry cat, and it's not Hannah.
It should be Hannah. I want Hannah to like cats. I think it also takes a lot of gusto to be ready to switch jobs. I think something that I had intended to mention on our last episode about new grad advice, but I'm glad I can carry over to now, is that it's important to remember that your first job may not be your last job, and that's okay. Your first job may be your forever job, and that's good too, but the average veterinarian switches positions 3 times throughout their career, and that means the average is 3. That means there are a lot of people that do more and a lot of people that do less.
Is that a real statistic?
It is.
Did you just make that up?
No. 70% of statistics are made up on the spot, but no. Well, don't put crickets on me. It was the statistic when I graduated. So I will put that caveat out there, like 2019.
I've had 3, so I can retire now.
Brandon
you're perfect.
Flowers,
You're
if
set.
you know the statistic, please reach out to us and let us know. Thank you.
But switching jobs in equine medicine I would say is probably pretty similar. I think maybe a little bit of difference is the equine world feels smaller. And so if you're thinking about changing your job, whether it be from equine to equine, or if you are like, I'm done with the big ones, I want to have them as fun and I want to work on small animals now, it's still a small world. And I think keeping doors open and being collegial when you're having these kind of conversations with people, because the ultimate question is, why are you switching? Like, are you unhappy with your location? Are you are you getting married and you guys are relocating? Or are you unhappy with the job itself? That's a conversation to be had with your current position. So then you can start to make a plan and figure out, okay, I do really want to switch. I want to go somewhere else. I want to do something different. And that takes a lot of guts, but it's not as hard or as scary as this big thundercloud probably seems. What are your thoughts?
Before I give my thoughts,
Okay.
can you tell us about Plum Island?
Yeah, what about it?
Well, you were there?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so they accept
Yeah,
one
we should.
veterinary student per vet school. You'll have to apply. It's called Smith Kilborn. And then you do a like 1 week long foreign animal disease training. So it's the same training as like actual foreign animal disease officers, like veterinarians, but it's like a quarter of the length. And so you go to Plum Island, and we worked on exotic Newcastle disease, African horse sickness, foot and mouth disease mostly. And we got to like they had experimentally infected animals, and then we got to do like necropsies and watch their progression over the course of the week. And then we learned about like government systems and trade laws and things like that. Well, and actually we did a Toastmasters as well. That's why I'm so eloquent.
What is that?
It's where you learn to give speeches.
Mhm,
Toastmasters?
mhm. I hated it. I
Did you
hated
do
every
it?
second.
What?
You never did Toastmasters?
No.
It's like it's a
It's-
worldwide company,
Yeah,
I
it's
think.
pretty common.
Sounds like an appliance you buy at Target.
You would think, but
Yeah. But the actual island, yeah, you have to take a ferry in, and you have to shower in a communal shower, and you have to blow your nose on your way in and out so you don't have any pathogens in your nostrils. And then you have to wear clothing, but you're not allowed to wear any underwear. You have to like wear just their
Wow.
scrubs the whole time. Yeah.
Commando on Plum Island.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was really fun. Oh,
Cool.
you
I bet
can't
that
go
was
in if
really
you have
cool.
like a new tattoo or a new piercing.
oh, because your skin has been broken.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
One of our colleagues got kicked out for a new tattoo. Felt really bad. Yeah, it was really cool though.
That's awesome.
You'd recommend it.
Yeah.
When did you do it?
4th year.
As like an externship, like a block.
When did you apply for it?
I think I applied it. I can't remember if it was 2nd or 3rd year.
Okay.
But
like
I
ahead
also
of
think,
time.
yeah. And then you obviously get to meet a lot of people in research and in government, and so I think that's why I was able to get government positions after that because
You knew people.
yeah, they wrote my letters of recommendation and stuff.
So second and third years, if you're listening,
Yes,
apply for
Smith-Kilbourne.
Smith Kilborn.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Cool.
We did a necropsy and we had to like find different things, and I kept saying I felt like it was chicken bingo. She had like, oh, I got a speed. That was fun.
Wow. Now we know who to have do our necropsies.
Absolutely.
I think is vet med and equine flexible when it comes to switching jobs? I mean, I think that it's more flexible than you think. I think that a lot of people start in a position and the fear of the unknown is worse than whatever they might be dealing with on a daily basis. And so I think a lot of people get stuck and they say, I just don't want to, what if I go to the next one, it's worse, right? I know the one that I'm in is bad, but what if the next one's worse, right? And so I think it takes a lot of courage to go and do it. But I think there's also a lot of like stigma with people think that, which actually in my case, it did kind of follow me, but people think that like whatever happens in your first job will just follow you forever. But I just don't think that's true. And I also think that, when I did my internship, I went to do an equine internship because I didn't have a horse background and because I wanted to test myself. I wanted to see if I could survive a year of equine internship, then I would be a horse vet, right? Then I would, this would tell me that I could do it. And, they always give you that line that like 1 year of internship is the equivalent of 3 years of practice, which is kind of true. I just don't think there's no like rule that says that you have to go and do an internship immediately when you get out of vet school, right? Like, I think if I could go back and tell myself, I would have told myself that like 10 years in, you could still go do an equine internship if you want. You could still go and decide to change species if you want. It's never too late to go and do something different, and certainly never too late to go and change jobs. And if you're in a job and you're not happy and you don't like the location or the people you work with or your pay or whatever it might be, and if all of the things together, you know, don't add up to being a good thing, then go and again, the unicorns might exist, right? And eventually, the unicorns are never actually unicorns forever, right? I mean, eventually the bloom will fall off the rose with every job or every position, and you just kind of have to find that kind of steady state where you say, well, all of the positives outweigh the negatives, you know. So, is vet med in equine flexible? No, but you can be flexible if you desire to be, and you can make your own path. and just don't listen to all the noise. And there's just so much noise in vet school. And, again, I don't have anything against the professors or anything like that. I just talked to one of my professors yesterday about a case, and she scolded me about something I did, and so they're great. They're wonderful people. But, and you can still learn years into your career, but the bottom line is there's a lot of noise when you're in vet school thinking that somehow like the mistake you made in your fourth year is going to follow you until it won't. I promise you. No one remembers, right? No one will care. Um, and you can always kind of remake yourself wherever you end up going. So that
Yeah.
would be, I'd say yes, flexible.
Well,
You
you
can
changed
be
your answer, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the noise is a really important thing to remember because especially during fourth year, there is like the most noise that you've heard out of your entire time in school. And like you ask 10 different people for advice, you'll get 10 different sets of advice. And like there is this stigma that if you want to be an equine vet, you have to do an internship. And it's simply not true anymore. But it is important to look for a place that if you are seeking that kind of education or mentorship or training, you do your due diligence in vetting the place. No pun intended.
Okay.
Next.
Oh, okay. Well, this seems like a similar question. I could be wrong. How flexible is it to move as a vet?
It's a little harder when you have 13 animals.
What animals do you have?
I have 3 dogs, one from Thailand, and then I have 3 sugar gliders, 2 linealated parakeets, a Cuban false chameleon, a crested gecko, a Russian tortoise, a ball python, and a lavender corn snake with one eyeball.
Do you think could you bring one in for the
Mhm.
next one?
Mhm.
You could have it in here.
Can you bring the one-eyed one?
Mhm.
Cool.
It'll be like whenever you see like the late night shows and they bring like the
Jeff Corwin comes out.
Yeah.
yeah.
You can be the Jeff Corwin of the podcast.
Oh my God, I haven't heard his name in so long.
Maybe we could get you one of those
Yeah.
hats, like a Crocodile Dundee hat.
I might have one. Yeah. I was
I have one that's pretty similar.
I was Steve Irwin a few years in a row for Halloween. That's
Who's-
actually the name of the Cuban false chameleon as well. It's
good.
We
Steve
could
Irwin.
do
look it up.
we could do a team costume this year. I'll be a stingray.
Yeah, well, that was morbid.
Play the crickets.
Sorry, Hannah.
If this question is about like the logistics of moving as a vet, or if it's like, yeah, I mean, there is a lot of flexibility in moving. It's just the logistics of like getting a new license
Mhm.
and then figuring out how you're going to get there. But there is a lot of flexibility. There's a lot of clinics that are like, we could use somebody, or like, there's a lot of people that are looking for somebody. I think there's a lot of flexibility to move as a vet. I don't know how to get it.
I mean, I think you also have to like ask. I mean, when you're talking about moving jobs, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think the equine thing is sort of like, again, equine just wants to be special, right? They have to have their little pink pony club party all the time about everything. Like, we're equine. It's the same for
Horse girls.
yeah, however you move. I think the questions are like, I mean, when you came on, right? I mean, there were some questions, right? Like, you had a vacation planned. Were you able to take that vacation? You weren't able to start right away, right? Like you started 2 or 3 months later, I think for from my perspective, it was the fact that we were able to have all of those conversations up front and then establish that, and then there was not questions on the back end. One of our vets in the past, I remember he was leaving his job and to come and work for us. And before he told the guy that he was working for that I'm leaving the job. And he said, I'm going to give you as much time as you want. And the guy said, sounds good. We'll keep you for the next 2 or 3 months. And he put him on call every single night for the next 3 months. And again, that was something that I think if you're in that situation, let me just tell you, whoever is out there, if you're in that situation, leave. Just leave. Just walk away. Whatever. What are they going to sue you for? You know what I mean? Like, I just don't. it's just not worth it, right? Like most of us are all more bark than bite, unless you're a corporate practice, you have more bite.
More money
'Cause
to
you have
bite
more,
with.
Yeah.
yeah, more money to bite with. But so what was that like for you? I mean, moving here and that transition.
Yeah. I mean, they threw me a going away party and we all were very sad, but they were very supportive and they only needed, I gave them 2 months and it was right around the holiday. So I gave them through the holidays so they didn't have to work around any short staffs around that time. So it was very easy.
But then you bought a house here
Mm-hmm.
with a coffee maker that comes
Yeah.
standard.
In the
Yep. That it took 3 months to open. Yep. And I mean, it was stressful, definitely, but it was manageable. I think it was easier for me than it is for a lot of other professions to find something. And I also think we moved pretty far and obviously to a new place, but the job felt very comforting because it's something I was used to. So I actually think it almost made it better to move something that already felt like home coming to.
Do you think that you were given enough of a sense of what you were getting into before you got here? Because I think for us, I mean, I think I tried to be upfront with you that we are like, we don't know what this is going to be. We don't know what this new practice is going to be like. It could be anything. You might be, crocheting every day, or it could be gangbusters.
Yeah, I think I had very reasonable expectations of what opening a new clinic in a rural place was gonna go like, and I think it's been a mixture of both of the things that you said. So, yeah, thank you. You set appropriate expectations.
Thank you.
Mm.
You can
Loaded
also,
question.
yeah, I mean, all of these systems are kind of loaded, right? Uh, but you can answer it honestly. Um,
I'll have Hannah edit in my actual answer
yeah,
later.
sounds
Yeah.
good. Do you have anything else to say about that?
I mean, I don't think so. I think like the more you can communicate and set expectations and talk about expectations, the more flexibility you'll find.
Yeah, and I mean, I think like with each of our vets that comes in, when I started, I remember telling them like, "Yo, I don't want to start until August," and they were like, we really need you in June," and I felt like guilted. And I will just tell you, because we do the same thing, right? We do the same thing with all of our new vets. We're always like, well, we could really use you yesterday. Um,
You
and
can start
then,
as soon as you want.
but I think we've really changed our what we say to our new vets, which is especially the apprentices, as we say, look, you need to take that time, right? Take that month off, 2 months, whatever it needs to be, take that time so that you can go and take a breath and refocus yourself. Believe me, you didn't learn anything in vet school, so don't worry about losing it, right? Everything, your education will start when you start the new job. Um, so I think that would be my other feedback there is just like take that time. Don't feel guilted by your new employer to somehow start sooner, right? I mean, we could have easily been like, no Japan, no Japan for you. Um, but I mean, I think that's important. You have to take that time in between and make sure that you're taking the time to move and get yourself settled because you just don't want to be like 2 years into a job and all of a sudden see that you still haven't moved boxes or unpacked boxes to your new house. So,
It's the crickets.
how do you survive? Is this junior surgery? How do you survive junior surgery if you have zero experience?
You just do.
Yeah, nailed it. I
You're
had
there
zero
to-
experience. I had -10 experience, and you just gotta learn and have a good attitude about it.
Yeah, I think so. For us, it was sophomore surgery, but I think you have to remember that the whole point of this surgery lab experience is to learn how to do surgery. They don't expect you to come in day one and be like, I can spay a dog in 10 minutes. The whole point of surgery lab is to learn how to do surgery. Like, you're not expected to come in and be 100% on your aseptic technique and draping and the surgery itself. Like, you'll survive. Like, I don't know if this sounds wrong or not, but you'll survive because you have to. And like you'll learn along the way. And the whole like you're there with your teammates. Like our lab group, we chose who we were in a lab group with. And I chose people that I knew I could trust to take care of our patients together. And so we learned alongside each other and we shared the duties and we learned how to do wraps, we learned how to drape, learned how to anesthetize. And then we would take shifts for taking care of these patients so that we could make sure each other got rest. And so like you'll survive because you have to and because you'll build teams with the people that you're working with.
Yeah, I would agree with all of that. I also think, yeah, they're not expecting you to be a surgeon when you walk in there. You're expected to learn how to do it over the course of the week. So some people I feel like are born vets and they just know like have a lot of confidence and experience, but some people don't. So there's a range. You're not at the bottom or the top. And yeah, you'll all get through.
And you'll probably sweat through your scrubs and
Yeah.
gown
Oh, yeah.
completely, and it'll take you 5 hours to do your first day. But then you learn, and that's how you learn, and that's how you get through it.
Are we talking about like the actual like when we did spays and neuters?
I have no idea because I don't know. Like we didn't have junior surgery. We had like our third year, we had a small animal surgery rotation, and that's a different strategy to get through because you're taking care of patients differently.
Yeah.
I would assume this
And
is
you're
like
cutting
surgery
suture
lab
for other
underneath.
people.
Well, what was it like for
I think
you?
this is-
We had like pig lab.
Yeah, we did Pig Lab, which was the terminal surgeries, but on live patients.
We didn't get this.
Yeah, I know. And then we had community practice, which was your first spays and neuters. And you had like one professor in the room, and there's like 12 of you. Is it
Yeah.
the same for you? And then, so I assumed that's one of those two is what they meant. Or skills lab, yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
our,
guess
our
that's the
skills
question.
lab, we also used those models that had like fake
The
blood
scent
going through
dabbers?
'em. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you like plug them in.
Yeah.
And I accidentally ligated what like was like the aorta, and then the whole thing
Nice.
stopped working. And he was like, "So
Good anatomy refresher.
don't tie off the
Awesome.
aorta."
Yeah. Junior surgery, I guess, can refer to different things depending on what school you're at, because different schools do it differently. Like our sophomore year, literally every other week, one of us was surgeon, assistant, or anesthetist. And so, like, all of us had done a couple of spays and at least one neuter by the time we were starting clinics. And then, like, junior year, so we did community practice, but in your community practice, you have a 2-day shelter rotation where you're on the shelter bus and you are the one, they're like, here's this dog, spay it, here's this cat, neuter it. And you just get handed animals to do surgery on. And so like you just gotta like, okay, I'm just gonna do it. And you have somebody there the whole time to back you up in case something goes wrong. Like when you drop a pedicle, because it's when, not if, like there is somebody to help you. But then like junior, like our third year small animal surgery rotation was like on the surgery service. So it's different, I guess, depending on
Yeah.
what school you're at. But I would assume this is for like surgery lab. Like, how do you get through your surgery
First
learning
surgeries,
experience?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can just cross out junior surgery lab and just say how do you survive anything if you have zero experience?
Mm-hmm.
Like the short answer is there's only one way to get experience, you know? I mean, we had a vet here when one of the guys I bought the practice from, he used to tell me, you know, after you've done this and one more, you will have done two, right? It's like, yeah. So, you know, you just have to, you know, kind of go for it. But I think the best way to survive anything is to go and find experience where you will be, you know, guided through your experience, right? In a comfortable situation. And often in vet school, we don't have that luxury of being able to pick who gives us that experience. But there are other places out there that you can learn from. I mean, like we have students here doing spays and neuters all the time. You know, I mean, we have them coming in and you know, for us it's a great way to see, you know, we're not judging them based on their surgical skills. We're seeing how do you handle a problem that you haven't encountered before, right? I mean, it's not so much about the details, it's about how do you, you know, how are you going to get through the problem? Because whether it's, you know, your first surgery or whether it's a colic or whether it's a blocked cat or whether it's a fight with your new partner or whether it's your own puppy, I mean, whatever it might be, you're going to have to learn how to navigate not having experience in these situations and then gaining experience.
Yeah. And I think for like the junior surgery or the surgery labs, whatever, like study your procedures because the more you've read through it, like, no, reading a book doesn't replace getting your hands on the animal, but at least you can resort back to that. Okay, this is my list of what I have to do during this. And you can go back to that in your brain, get enough sleep, And then there may not be a professor for everybody, but there may be a clinician or an intern or a resident that you just jive with a little more than others. Like one of our small animal surgeons and I got along really well, and I would always look for him in lab because they would circulate, and I was like, he's there. I can ask him for help. And so he was like, I'm coming, don't worry, like every time. And so I think there can be a lot of resources for you, but you do have to be willing to look for them. But study, sleep, don't stay up studying so late that you're sleeping through your surgery.
Practice your nods.
Practice your knots.
Practice your
It's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with doing the, I have been historically bad about that, but like last week, we did a gastropexy together, and we both had different views on what we had remembered
Oh,
reading.
you're sliced.
Yeah, and if we should have just looked it up right before or whatever. But I mean, I have a story. When I was in my internship, I was scrubbing in with Dr. Adams, and I remember we were scrubbing in, and I was deep into the internship at this point, so we knew each other well. And I was joking with him, and I said we were doing a superior check desmotomy in a racehorse, and I was like, hey, you don't really even need to scrub in for this one, buddy. Why not? I got this. I'll just take care of it. He's like, okay, sounds good. And so we went in, and then as soon as we got in, we start draping and all that stuff. And he goes, okay, why don't you go ahead and point to your first landmark where you're going to cut? And I was like, what? Obviously we're doing arthroscopy, and he's like, yeah, tell me the landmark where you're going to cut. And I was like, well, I thought, well,
This is where you hit the crickets button.
Yeah. And so, I mean, that was a big learning experience for me. He was like, look, if, you can joke all you want, but it's the same with all the students, right? You guys are going to go and you're going to be in, fourth year surgeries, and you'll be watching like some crazy surgery that you're like, I'm never going to do this. I'm never going to be part of it. But the truth is like, look it up, read up on it, be there so that way you can be present to ask questions. So you can, I wish I had done that more instead of, being a regular at Lucky Joe's, RIP. I wish I had done that more, because then I would have, it helps later on after you've been able to watch that surgery and apply it. So there is a lot to be said about see one, do one, teach one.
And enjoy it. You're getting to put your hands on tissue.
Yes, and you will never have this little responsibility for the rest of your life. So
It's big of a safety cushion.
don't think that somehow this is like the hard time of your life. How did you choose your field, small animal versus equine? Why you chose the field that you did?
I chose every.
Sydney didn't choose,
I
actually.
have to choose. I'm a Libra. I I went back and forth a lot before I was even in vet school. I just like when I was a kid, I was like, I'm gonna be a dolphin vet, and then I was gonna be a tiger vet, and then I was gonna be a horse vet, and then I was still gonna be a horse vet, and then I went into vet school planning to go back to Florida and be a cow vet and work in extension. But then during school, remembered how much I loved being around horses and working on them. And then I got into small animal surgery and realized how much more you can do with that and how much I loved it. But then I found a spot that I didn't have to pigeonhole myself into one or the other. And there's niches that I really enjoy, but I still get to kind of play with everything. But how did you end up with small animal and
Yeah,
exotics?
great question. So in vet school, I tracked mixed, and I split my time equally between large and small. I took all the exotics rotations. I did all the infectious disease rotations. So I also was bad at choosing for a while there. And then when I graduated, I knew I wanted to do clinical practice, at least for a little while before I lost the courage. And I honestly applied to equal number of mixed animal and small animal. And the two biggest things that made me pick small were that a lot of the mixed animal positions say they're mixed, but they're mostly horses. And I wanted mostly small ruminants and cattle. So they just didn't quite fit the population I wanted to see. And then a lot of them were just not in the location that I wanted to be at. I want to be closer to my family and to the mountains and to skiing. So a lot of them just took me away from the places I wanted to be, and kind of just left a few options left. and then decided that it was a good fit once I was there. So I think it wasn't necessarily the species that drew me in as much as some of the other things that come along with the job description.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is probably so like I guess I'll just give my fourth year advice, which is every time we have students here, and they always ask kind of some, version of this question, right? I have five things that I have them rank. And so I have mentorship, money, species, location, and work-life balance. Um, and so I think, that's based on that ranking, which it's allowed to change. They're always like, well, maybe in a year, what if and I'm like, no, just like right now, how would you rank it, right? Because if money is number one, then you have to go and pick your place based on money, right? If mentorship is number one, pick based on mentorship, right? I mean, and then, again, if location is number one, pick based on location. And I think those things obviously change as time goes on, as your life changes, right? Being a horse vet is really, really important to you. You have to do horses. Species is number one. I mean, I remember Dr. Adams telling me when I was in, I also thought about being an equine surgeon. I applied and all that and didn't make it. He told me, if you want to work on horses, you have to be in places where there are horses, right? Um, if you want to be in a certain location, you have to go to that location. And yeah, and if you want money, you're going to have to go and yeah, find a place that will pay you lots of money. So I think about balancing those five things, but being really honest with yourself about what's the most important to you. And there's no wrong answer.
And I think the other thing is like if you are torn or you feel undecided and you know, so you're about to start your fourth year or you're starting your third year or whatever, like start finding yourself experiences with different species and see which one lights your fire. And that will probably help start directing you. Like if you're in small animal internal medicine, and you just come home every day drained, but then you're on equine medicine and you come home every day like, I can't wait to do that tomorrow. Like maybe that's giving you a direction. Or maybe neither of those things, and you're going to Path Lab and looking at gross necropsies and looking at slides and just fascinated by it. Like just start opening yourself up to more experiences and find what excites you.
Okay. NAVLE prep advice and power pages on vet prep.
Yeah.
I think vet prep was excellent. And then the actual practice tests from NAVLE, that was the best thing to get through. And if you're at a place like state where I went, where you have a lot of flexibility in your fourth year, I took time off before NAVLE. And so I mean, I had surgery too, so I was couch ridden, but like force yourself into that study time and set yourself a schedule and reward yourself when you've hit that schedule. But vet prep, I think, was really helpful.
I also used vet prep, yeah.
And they will give you a second round of it for free if you don't pass the first time.
Mhm.
I did Zuku review.
I did that too.
I did their email
Did
questions.
both?
Yeah. Yeah. I love flashcards. Yeah, I really peaked in
Yeah.
vet school.
Color me not surprised.
Yeah. Raise your hand if you're surprised. Oops.
So I did do both. And the email
The
questions.
daily questions I thought were really helpful.
I wonder if we could re-sign up for those.
I bet you could. If you really wanted to take a daily NAVLE question, I'm sure they'd be more than happy to send them to you.
We can have like a board in the front in the lobby, and it can be the Zuku review question. And if the client gets it right,
That's actually a really
we
cute
get a
idea.
free anal gland expression.
Deal.
A free anal.
Ear cleaning. I love cleaning ears.
Thank God you do.
I'll do it for free.
Absolutely free ear cleaning with Anna. God,
We're gonna start setting up like one day a month
Set-
ear cleanings with Anna.
set to the soundtrack of Taylor Swift.
Yes.
So how far, I think this was always a question when I remember being in school was how far along were you when you took NAVLE and in your prep?
Oh, like through vet prep. I was at 100%.
I was at 100%.
I was at 7%.
But I will say I was not at 100% until 2 days before I took it. So
I remember on the radiology, they were like, I'm at 75%. And I was like, I'm at 7%. but I feel good.
It's gonna be
And?
great.
Well, I passed.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It's not a hard test.
It's just an exhausting test.
Yeah. I had questions on koi fish and seahorses.
Yeah, I had one on
I
like
learned about a new type of bird. I had never heard of a rhea before. That had to have been an experiment question. They're a
they
big like
called seabird?
emu ostrich looking thing from Uruguay.
Oh, okay.
A friend of mine had known, but it was only because he had visited Uruguay.
Anyway, yeah, so NAVLE, don't worry about it. Just pass it.
The first time or the second time or the third time.
Yeah, you will pass. I think the vet prep was really helpful, but it's just about like preparing yourself is the most important thing, no matter how you do it. But between the daily questions, the power pages I thought were super helpful, and then but the NAVLE distributed practice test that you can take online, that I think is what best prepared me. I did 2 of those, and it's the same exact. It's like old NAVLE questions, so it is the exact type of questions that you will see. And sleep. Don't study the night before you take it. Like color, puzzles, play with your dog, do whatever helps you turn your brain off, go to bed early, drive to the test center the day before so you're not lost getting there. Maybe that's just me that did it, but I just wanted to make sure I knew where I was going, where I was parking.
Me and Tom Pryor took a shot of Fireball before we went into the test.
I am not surprised.
Raise your hand if you're surprised.
Yeah.
Nailed it. We also took a few after the test.
There you go. There you go. I did go straight to the brewery.
And certainly if you guys have if people have more questions about how any of us prepped, feel free to reach out through the.
Maybe some of us more than others, but
I mean, he passed,
Sure.
so the Fireball and 7% vet prep did something.
Yeah, there's a wide range. But
Everybody's different.
I would say the people that didn't pass, from my understanding, it's more like an anxiety
Yes,
thing
I would
as
agree.
opposed to like you not knowing the information.
Yeah.
Like the information will not be hard on the test. You will be fine
Yeah.
there. But if you're like, if you overthink it,
No, that's why, yeah, take the time to like whatever kind of helps calm yourself, whatever form that may be. Maybe a shot of Fireball walking in, I don't know, but find the thing that helps you find your center so that you can just focus on the question and not about the implications of the question.
they may breathalyze now after we may have started the trend. Do they breathalyze you? No? Okay, good to know. I mean, they probably don't care if people are drunk taking that test.
You're there to take it as long as you showed up.
They want you to take it multiple times. It's more money.
I was gonna say you already paid whatever it is,
Yeah.
$1,000 to be there.
Yeah. Any other NAVLE advice as long as we're talking about it?
No, I don't think so. We can talk more about it like towards results day, but I think just
I would say take the time to try to understand the questions too. Like try to understand what the point is.
yeah, exactly.
Why you're doing this. I mean, I basically was just like trying to memorize answers as opposed to trying to be like, oh, this is probably something that I should try to delve into and understand a little bit
Yeah.
more. I think that's vet school. That's a problem with vet school is it's all about can you remember all of these answers instead of applying it.
Yeah, and I think that the veterinary school that I attended, I will give them a lot of credit because they focus on preparing students for NAVLE. And so asking those kind of questions, and almost every test was multiple choice, except for pathology. And
I was
fine
just
art,
gonna say,
but
at least wasn't harder than like pathology
no,
or
pathology was still
parasitology.
short
It's
answer.
still harder.
yeah,
than
those were still
NAVLE.
the same. But developing the kind of questions that it's like, it's not asking you like, this dog has nematodes, what are you going to treat it with? Which I don't think they get nematodes. But like, it's more about recognizing patterns because that's what we do. We look for patterns, and that's what NAVLE is asking you to recognize.
Okay, moving on. That's probably gonna get cut, I'd imagine. What do I need to do to be confident by graduation? Fireball. What
Fireball.
is- what's okay to be unsure about?
Everything.
Everything. Yeah. I think
Except
that's
for
something I
Fireball.
definitely tried to cover up early on of like,
Yeah.
you want to be confident enough that the client doesn't question you. But I think it's okay to also be confidently unsure. Like, I know this is the problem, I just don't know what it is, and we're going to find out together. So I think it's okay to be unsure about most things, but it's not okay to leave it unsure.
Yeah. Agreed. I think the only thing to worry about being confident about by graduation is what you're going to wear to graduation. It's okay to be like, you're not going to feel confident about your medicine because you haven't practiced medicine yet. Like, it's okay to feel unsure about how to be a vet because you don't know how to be a vet because you're just now becoming one.
Well, I think it's
Shots of Fireball.
there is this sense that that there is some sort of end at
Yeah.
graduation, but the truth is that that's not the end, right? That's the beginning. It is the end of probably a lot of fun and lack of responsibility that's what I would say. Like whenever I see fourth years, I'm like, enjoy it. Like enjoy as much as you can. If you like where you are, obviously, those of you who go to school at like probably not.
Nerds.
But those of us who went to like nice, beautiful schools, I mean, it like go have fun, go enjoy Fort Collins for the rest of the time that you're there,
Yeah.
right? I mean, obviously enjoying sounds like an oxymoron,
More
but
about the people,
yeah,
not your
it's
cousins.
more about the family reunions.
Stop.
But yeah, I would say, I mean, I think you just need to go and enjoy it, and you're not going to don't worry about being confident, like confident comes with practice, confidence comes with experience, and confidence comes from the other people around you. So if you have, just look to the other people around you and make sure that you maintain those relationships. Because, I mean, I still talk to lots of people, I still talk to 3 or 4 people from my internship, but I talk to them like weekly or monthly. I mean, Dr. Adams just explained to me how to do a transficeal bridge in a foal yesterday, and I was busy scribbling notes, and he's like, "Yeah, you can do it, no problem. Just do this, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, "Oh my god!" So, yeah, so I would say just lean on the people that you need to lean on.
Yeah. I think like don't set that high of an expectation on yourself that you need to be confident by the time that you graduate, or that there's this like deadline of May whatever 2026 that like I will be a confident veterinarian and I will be so sure of what I'm doing. But what you said actually is like what my little sentence was, which was slow down and enjoy your last year with your people and your chance to learn from the big minds while you're still there. Like, don't rush yourself into this, like, I have to feel this way and I have to do all of these things to build my confidence. Like, enjoy your fourth year for what it is. It is your last chance to be in this safety cushion of learning and mentorship from the people that you're surrounded with, your clinicians and your peers and the technicians who are there. And just take your time and absorb all of that. Don't worry about like, I have to be ready to go the day after I graduate.
Yeah, I think you're allowed to be unsure about pretty much everything, because the dirty secret is you'll actually never be sure about anything. I think my favorite quote is the Ricky Gervais quote. He says, "My best advice I ever received was, no one else knows what the..."
Heck.
Nope. 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 No one else. No one else wasn't. What? Oh.
Outtakes.
What is this? What is this doing? Is this helium voice?
Did you change just yours? Everybody's?
Oh
I
god.
forgot what the quote was, but now. Totally remember.
Nobody else knows what the F they're doing either.
Oh boy. This is going to. It's going to be bad. Oh. Oh.
Did you fix it?
No, I don't think.
Are we still helium?
Say something.
Something.
Oh boy.
Shoot, I'll just be quiet the rest of the time. Shooting.
Oh my gosh. But you didn't even hit any of our mic buttons.
I don't know what I hit. Okay, well, this will be good. We can go ahead and finish because we're close. Oh, okay, it's just Anna.
Or just leave.
No.
Nope,
actually,
you're stuck here
I think you sound good as a.
as a balloon. You're just jamming buttons.
That was phenomenal.
Okay.
Hold on, one more time.
No, stop. What were we?
We're-
Ricky Gervais. Don't worry
Yeah.
about feeling confident. Don't
No
feel like
one
you have
else
to be.
knows what they're doing either.
You're supposed to actually say it.
Post got this.
We're gonna get canceled. So the last thing we're gonna do before we leave is we're gonna just give the advice, one piece of advice we'd give to fourth years. And we can start with Anna. Did you want to talk?
My advice was to be a human first and a veterinarian second, because I think it's really exciting to be a vet, and you worked really hard, and you should be proud, and you should be, I mean, thrilled to be joining a really wonderful profession with lots of wonderful, caring people, but you're a human first. So you should be a mountain biking enthusiast who also does vet med, or a Swiftie who also does vet med, but not just a doctor.
I kind of said mine, but slow down and enjoy your last year with your people and your chance to learn from the big minds while you're still there. I think, you've spent 3+ years bonding with the people around you, trauma bonding, truly. And this is your chance to enjoy your last time all being together. And like I said, being in your bubble and asking all of the questions from the people that you want to still learn from. And it will go by in the blink of an eye. Just enjoy it before you have to enter the big world.
I will read Hannah's advice. Like, do you want me to do it in the chipmunk voice? No.
Yes.
Do you want to?
I do, but I want you to make the chipmunk voice.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be through the machine.
You can do it in your British accent.
Hannah's advice to fourth years is, this too shall pass. You know more than you think. Keep moving forward one step at a time. It's a what? It's a Rocky quote. Nice. Sylvester.
Fly.
What does he say? Adrian. I think my advice would be, well, my advice is, I recently read a book called Little Panda, or Big Panda and Little Dragon, and Tiny Dragon, and in it, the Tiny Dragon says, what's more important, the journey or the destination? And Big Panda says, the company. And so that would be my advice, is don't get so lost in like the rotations and like what you think you're supposed to do. We had a great group, in vet school, and we ended up losing one of them shortly after we graduated, right? And there's nothing that all of us wouldn't do to have him back and to have that time back with him. So enjoy that time, I mean, this is not good advice, but like, don't study too hard. Don't study too much. Go and spend time with the people that you want to spend time with. And, don't skip that last dinner with your friend, or skip that, last volleyball game or whatever you're doing. Go and spend time with them. So, did Carson send something? Carson says, ugh, I don't know.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
This is Dr. Freeman's advice. Ugh, I don't know. Treat every externship like a working job interview, and only take externships that align with your long-term goals.
Says the extern cord.
I should have read this first. Befriend and treat the technicians with respect in clinics, and it will make your life easier. The Broncos are the best football team in the universe, and the Chiefs are terrible. That is great.
That's accurate.
Advice. Dr.
Nailed it.
Freeman.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, but I think if there are people looking for advice to get through fourth year, as opposed to like looking ahead, take the time to be with your people, connect with those support staff, because they're the ones that you're spending the long hours with. They're the ones that are truly teaching you the nitty gritty of being in an everyday working situation. And they're the ones that will make or break your rotations for sure. And don't study too hard.
All right. Well, I think we probably need to get out of here.
2 hours later.
Dr. Anna has to see. Owner noticed, here, I'll just read it to us. This can be how we sign off. Owner has noticed that the patient has not been pooping and is also vomiting. Behavior will be normal, but then sometimes will be a little lethargic. Owner also mentioned patient seems bloated sometimes. So get excited. You're about to see that. It's a gecko. Just kidding. It's a dog.
It's not.
I think just last thing would be, if anyone has any requests for what we talk about in our next episode, or requests for who we have on the next, if you have any questions for specific people. Obviously you've seen some different characters now. We'll do our best to get Dr. Freeman on here, but
We'll force her on one way or another.
we might have to give her chill protocol before she gets
Yeah.
in here.
She will. Grace.
And yeah, if you have any recommendations, please comment, like, subscribe. Am I saying all the things?
Share.
Inject us into your veins.
Brandon Flowers, let us use your song and follow us.
Yeah, the Killers. So we don't have to play this anymore. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Ruth. Dr. Ruth, can you just say a couple things before we leave?
Yeah. I wish I knew what it sounded like.
It sounds really good.
You sounds like elephant.
Just talk about Taylor Swift a little bit.
Oh, and oh no! I like the music though. It sounds like we're making music though. Like auto-tune. Is that what Kanye's here? Oh no.
Thank you so much for listening to today's podcast episode. We hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please give us a like, subscribe, and share. And maybe if you did or you didn't, please leave your comments and thoughts below. Do you agree with what was said in this episode? What are your thoughts on this industry topic? Thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you next time.